What would you risk for a chance at gold? Think about it. Would you leave your home? Would you leave your family? Would you travel across dangerous lands or stormy seas? Gold has a power. It promises riches. It whispers of a new life. For many, gold means freedom. It means a chance to escape poverty. It means becoming someone new. This allure is strong. It can make people do amazing and sometimes desperate things. The dream of gold is a powerful magnet, pulling people towards the unknown with promises of untold wealth. The dream of finding treasure is an old one. It is a story told in many cultures. People have always searched for hidden riches. They have looked for lost cities of gold. They have hunted for pirate treasure. The idea of striking it rich overnight is exciting. It makes hearts beat faster. This dream can drive people to face great dangers. They might cross deserts. They might climb mountains. They might sail into storms. All for that one chance. That one discovery that could change everything. The California Gold Rush was built on this ancient, powerful dream. Before the gold, California was a quiet place. It was far away from the busy cities of the East. Not many American settlers lived there. Mostly there were Native American tribes. A man named James W. Marshall was a key part of this story. He was a carpenter and a handyman. He worked for a man named John Sutter. Sutter was a Swiss immigrant. He owned a large piece of land in California. He called it New Helvetia. Sutter had big plans for his land. He wanted to build an agricultural empire. Marshall was helping him build a sawmill. This sawmill was on the South Fork of the American River. It was a place called Coloma. They needed the mill to cut lumber for Sutter's growing settlement. One cold morning, everything changed. It was January 24th, 1848. Marshall was checking the water channel below the mill. He saw something glinting in the water. He reached down and picked it up. It was a small, yellowish flake. It was soft. He bit it, a common test for gold. His heart began to race. Could this truly be gold? He found more pieces. He gathered them up. He knew he had to show Sutter. This was no ordinary rock. This could change everything for them and for California. Marshall hurried to Sutter's fort. He showed the shiny flakes to John Sutter. Sutter was a smart man. He tested the metal. It was indeed gold, pure gold. The news of gold spread like a wildfire. First, it raced through California. People left their jobs, they abandoned their farms, they closed their shops. Everyone wanted to find gold. Then, the news reached the eastern United States. Newspapers printed exciting stories. Letters from California told of easy riches. At first, some people were skeptical. It sounded too good to be true. But then, President James K. Polk confirmed the discovery. More gold arrived from California. The excitement grew into a frenzy. Soon, the whole world knew. The people who rushed to California in 1849 became known as 49ers. This name came from the year they arrived. They came from every state in America. They also came from countries far away, from Mexico and Chile, from China and Australia, from England, France, and Germany. They were farmers, teachers, doctors, lawyers, and sailors. Some were rich, many were poor. They were young and old, men and women, though mostly men at first. They all shared one powerful dream, to strike it rich in the gold fields of California. Getting to California was a huge challenge. It was a long and dangerous journey. Some chose to travel by sea. This meant a voyage of many months. Section 4. Faces of the Rush, Sutter, Marshall, and the Argonauts. John Sutter had dreamed of a peaceful agricultural empire. He was a Swiss immigrant who had received a large land grant in California. He called his settlement New Helvetia, or New Switzerland. He built Sutter's fort as its center. He had thousands of cattle and acres of crops. The discovery of gold on his land should have made him rich. Instead, it brought ruin. His workers abandoned their jobs to search for gold. Squatters overran his property. His livestock was stolen. His fields were destroyed. The gold rush was a disaster for John Sutter's grand vision. James W. Marshall was the man who first found the gold. He was a humble carpenter. He was working for Sutter, building the sawmill. His discovery sparked one of the largest human migrations in history. But Marshall himself did not become wealthy from the gold. He tried mining for a while. He was not very successful. He saw others get rich from the gold he had found. He eventually settled down on a small piece of land. He died a poor man. His name is famous in history, but he never shared in the great fortunes made during the gold rush. The gold seekers were often called Argonauts. This name came from an ancient Greek myth. Jason and the Argonauts sailed on a ship called the Argo. Section 5. Life in the diggings' grit, grind, and fleeting glory. Life in the mining camps was incredibly hard. These camps sprang up quickly wherever gold was found. They were often just collections of tents, rough shacks, and lean-tos. They were crowded and dirty. There was very little law and order, especially in the early days. Disputes were often settled with fists or guns. Miners worked from the first light of dawn until the dark of night. They endured harsh weather, from scorching sun in summer to freezing cold in winter. It was a life of constant toil and uncertainty for most. The work of mining gold was backbreaking. The early miners used simple tools. They used pans to swirl dirt and water, hoping to find gold flakes. They used picks and shovels to dig into the earth. Later, they used rockers and sluice boxes. These were wooden devices that helped separate gold from gravel. This work was physically demanding. Miners stood in cold river water for hours. They dug heavy loads of dirt and rock. Many suffered from exhaustion and injuries. Finding gold was not easy. It required immense effort and persistence. Section 6. Forging a new West society and economy transformed. The gold rush caused towns and cities in California to grow rapidly. San Francisco was a small village before the gold. It became a bustling city of tens of thousands. Ships from all over the world crowded its harbor. Sacramento became a vital supply center. New towns appeared almost overnight. California's landscape was reshaped by the influx of people. The discovery of gold created an enormous economic boom. Vast amounts of gold were extracted. This gold fueled economic activity across the United States and the world. New businesses sprang up to serve the miners. Banks were established to handle the new wealth. The demand for goods, food, and transportation soared. California's economy became dynamic and powerful. It helped to finance the growth of the American nation. The gold rush brought immense social changes. People came to California from every corner of the globe. This created an incredibly diverse population. There were Americans from the East, Mexicans, Chileans, Peruvians, Chinese, Europeans, and Australians. This mix of cultures created a vibrant but often tense society. Section 7. California's golden legacy echoes of the rush today. The gold rush left a lasting mark on California's identity. It is still known as the Golden State. This nickname remembers the gold that drew so many people here. The gold rush also fostered a spirit of entrepreneurship and risk-taking. People came to California looking for opportunity. They were willing to gamble everything for a chance at a better life. This spirit of innovation and daring became part of California's character. The idea that California is a place where dreams can come true has its roots in the gold rush. This belief continues to attract people today. The gold rush shaped California's incredibly diverse culture. The many different groups of people who came seeking gold often stayed. They brought their languages, their customs, and their traditions with them. This created a rich and complex cultural tapestry. Chinese, Latin American, European, and other influences blended with American culture. This diversity is one of modern California's greatest strengths. It makes California a vibrant and dynamic place. The foundations of this multicultural society were laid during those frantic years of the gold rush. The infrastructure that supports modern California began to develop during the gold rush. Roads were built to connect the mining camps to the cities. Ports were improved to handle the increased shipping. Later, railways were constructed to link California to the rest of the country.